Love conquers all. Love will hold us together. We can get through anything as long as we have love. You've heard all these sayings before, biblical references. You've heard this before. We're about to talk about patriotism here, but what does all that love talk mean? We'll make it about a family before we go to America. Well, the idea of it is, I have a wife, 2 kids. The idea is if we love each other, then that creates a foundation there that will allow us to weather whatever comes. What if I lose my job, flat broke, busted? We're stuck in a crappy little apartment in the ghetto somewhere. Well, if we love each other, we'll get through it. If we hate each other, we're not. We're going to come apart. What if someone, maybe you're going through this or have gone through this, what if someone in the family gets sick, dies even? Brutal time, grieving, stress, drink. If love is there, you'll stay together, work through it together because that's the foundation. And if the love's not there, you're just going to shatter into a million pieces. Countries work the exact same way. Patriotism is one of those things we love to talk about. We love to discuss it, especially on the right, because we are inherently patriotic. But what does it even mean? Let's go a little bit deeper and why it matters. Love of country. Love of country. And patriotism isn't something that, a right-wing talking point, if you will. It is the essential element to hold a country together. The essential element. If you and I get together and we want to discuss issues, maybe we're discussing what laws we want passed, don't pass, what do we want banned, don't ban. You know what? We will disagree. Inevitably, we're going to disagree. You're going to have thoughts about this. I'm going to have thoughts about that. We will disagree. No question about it. No 2 people are alike. But if we share a love of America, if we're both coming at that from that place, then in the end, we're going to be okay. We will work it out because I want America to succeed and you want America to succeed. Patriotism is the essential element for a country. I've used this example before just to kind of dumb it down because it works this way no matter the size of anything. The 100-person village, some tiny, remote 100-person village in Africa, right? If there's 80, 90 people in that village and they love it, they feel blessed to be there. They love the protection that everything the village provides. Dad was here and grandma was here and I love my village. Well, how's that play out in daily life? If you're walking around and the water well everyone uses, you see there's a stone about to fall into it. What do? You run over there, you grab it, you get it off there. Make sure the well is good. This is best for my town. You walk by the cattle pen and the fence is falling down. Cattle are about to get out. You don't shrug your shoulders. You certainly don't make it worse. Oh, shoot, the cattle, that's our cattle. You run, you fix the fence. But vice versa. What if you get to a place in your little village where half the people, they hate it. They've been taught the village is evil, its history's evil, the village kind of sucks. Well, what happens when that person walks by the well when the rock's about to fall in? He runs over to it and kicks it in. What's that person do when the fence is falling apart? Tear it down more. Screw this village. That's how it works. And in the end, the village will collapse. It'll implode on itself. We here in the United States of America have a serious patriotism problem. And when I say serious patriotism problem, I mean it resides entirely on the left. America's Democrat Party today, not what your grandma voted for, today in the year 2025 hates the United States of America, and they hate it fairly openly. They don't really hide it. I remember all the conversations I used to have with communists who I know, who, you remember after the St. George Floyd thing when they started singing the Black national anthem at football games and Black Lives Matter and all that crap, and I would rant and rave about get the politics out of it, and they would say, their response almost every time was, it's always been political. We had the military there. What? Why would they view the military as being political? Because the military defends America. And for them, that's the opposition. They don't believe in defending America. They believe, well, I think Sonny summed it up best.
And so, yes, when I drive into a neighborhood and it's not July 4th, and I'm not in a predominantly military household neighborhood, and there are flags, American flags everywhere, alongside Trump flags, alongside flags with stars in a circle, I feel threatened because the message is very clear. It's a message of white supremacy. It's a message of racism, and it's a message of their country, not my country.
And there it is. I ran for Congress twice. You know that. And one of the most amazing things about it, anybody who's run for office, didn't have to be Congress, run for office or worked on a campaign, anybody who's knocked on doors, you go around town, knock on doors, hey, I'm Jesse, vote for me. Anybody in politics, they'll back up what I'm about to tell you. You see, you have homes and you can tell their voter registration. It was public, at least in Arizona at the time. You know, hey, there's 2 registered Republicans who live here, there's 2 registered Democrats who live there. And then there are homes that are unregistered, independent, not registered as anything at all. When you're running in a Republican primary, as I was, you're trying to figure out whether I should knock on that door. You don't want to knock on Democrat doors. It's a waste of time. You know what the ultimate guarantee was? If the home flies an American flag, it's not a Democrat. May not be a Republican, maybe libertarian, maybe not affiliated, but Democrats don't fly the American flag. Everyone knows it. Why? Why does Sonny cruise through a neighborhood and see American flags and feel threatened? Because for these people, America is the enemy. The enemy. They are at war with our own country. We are already in a soft civil war. And you notice she brought up race, because I'm actually glad she brought up race. I want to tell you something I've been talking to you a lot about lately. You see, race communism, dividing up a country by race. These people are the good ones, they're the saints. These people are inherently evil, they should pay, they suck, their history. Dividing up a country by race is the oldest and most effective form of communism. Did you know that? Mao used it to great effect during his Cultural Revolution. Hey, that tribe's evil and they've oppressed you, and it's unbelievably effective. Have you ever wondered why it's not just America, globally, leftists in every country, Canada, UK, wherever it may be, why they're so happy to publicly trash white people at every single turn? But of course, the saintly immigrant is always, somebody worthy of the utmost consideration, not like you, whitey. Have you ever wondered? Have you ever wondered that? Well, let me explain. Because race communism is the most effective form of communism. When you take somebody and you tell them that person's inherently evil because of their skin color, and you're inherently good because of your skin color, for evil people, stupid people, that's like catnip. They just eat it up. Why do you think they responded like this after George Floyd died?
The killing of George Floyd was really just the boiling point. This is about centuries of systemic racism and racial inequality that has existed in this country. And I think what we are seeing right now is generational exhaustion and generational uprising.
And we know that we have been fighting systemic racism in this country for 400 years. We know that it has reared its ugly heads in law enforcement agencies, in housing, in education, and too many other places.
Well, we need to have a systemic vision for dismantling systemic racism.
America has a long history of systemic racism. Black Americans, and black men in particular, have been treated throughout the course of our history as less than human.
Now, why is it so effective? And why do they love that term systemic racism? Well, here's the thing. Not only is it appealing to the evil, violent, stupid people. Yeah, I am the good guy and he is the bad guy. It's not just that. It's also that it goes to the very foundations of the country they're trying to burn down. This country, because it was founded by white people and white people are evil, well, shouldn't we burn this place to the ground? After all, the whole system is bad. The whole system is racist. And that's their side of it. The other reason it's so effective is the people who have systemic racism pointed at them, the enemies of these vile little communists. They find it, unless you're strong enough, unless you're smart enough to see what's happening and bold enough to stand up to it, they cave. They cave all the time. It's very easy to just shrink up and shrivel up. And I mean, I guess you're right. I am kind of evil. I mean, white people, we have done terrible things, and I'm very, very sorry about that. You saw it all the time after Floyd died.
Could I just have the privilege? I'd like to say a word to white churches. We are better than we used to be, but we are not as good as we ought to be, and that is not good enough. Which means you have to take up the work of racial justice. Racism did not start in our lifetimes, but racism can end in our lifetime.
Race communism wormed its way right into the church like that because the church was too weak and stupid to see what was happening. You remember the story of my own church that I lost, story I've told you many times before, actually during this time period. Right after George Floyd died, race communism chewed up my pastor and spit him out. Wonderful man, kind man, just very, very nice. You spend 10 minutes with him and you know he's got a good heart, a nice guy. And all that race communism all over the news. Our pastor sends out an email to our church telling us he's getting ready to go to a What White People Need to Know conference. And I tried to warn him. I said, don't do this. You don't understand what you're dealing with here. Told me basically to sit back and he needs to go listen. And then stood up in front of the entire congregation and talked about white privilege that Sunday. Turned around, walked out, never went back. Good man as he may be, he's too weak and stupid to stand up to this. Be bold in the face of it. And this all comes back to patriotism. You see, race communism is effective because it wrecks patriotism so easily. If you want young people to grow up and kick the stone into that well and tear down the fence into that village, all you need to do is teach them in school that America's an evil, racist place, and this place kind of deserves whatever bad happens to it. Those young people will grow up to be communist foot soldiers, and they'll tear down every well and fence. Patriotism is essential, and we must get back there. All that may have made you uncomfortable, but I am right. I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.